James Shelby here, Shelby Sold Real Estate Team, and we are at a property that we secured for one of my buyers, and we're actually doing the home inspection right now. So I want to talk a little bit about what is important to look for in a home inspection from a buyer's perspective, and then a little bit about what an agent needs to do during the home inspection, the way I like to operate things, and maybe give a little bit of insight on that. One of the things that you want to look for in a home inspection, some of the most important things if you're buying a home, is all the major things that could go wrong with a home. You want to make sure that those things are functioning properly. So for instance, we're talking about the roof, right? We want to make sure there's no major roof issues. Obviously, roofs can be expensive if you have to replace them. So you want to make sure that you're not getting a bunch of water coming into the house or any water coming into the house at all. And so you're going to want the home inspector to be up in the attic, making sure everything's good to go there. Secondarily, you're going to want to check out the plumbing. You're going to make sure there's no issues with the plumbing, because let's face it, you don't want your toilet backing up. You don't want things that you're trying to go down the drain from the garbage disposal coming back up. You want to make sure that all the plumbing is functioning correctly. So again, you don't have any major issues that you're going to have to repair later. Another thing, and a very important thing, is electrical. So electrical throughout the house. You want to make sure that things are up to code. If the previous owner was installing lights or putting in, some new light fixtures, anything like that, you want to make sure that all the electrical, the main electrical panel, everything is up to code, and you're not going to have any issues that could potentially cause a fire down the line. Other things you might want to look for, and not necessarily in an area like this. This is a tract home area, but let's say you're out in a rural area. Oh, what's up? No, you're good, man. We can edit you out, or we'll leave you in.
I just wanted to give you a heads up. There's a lot going on here.
Really? Okay. We'll talk about it. See, this is why you get a home inspection. Yeah, so if you're in a rural area, some of the things that are very important to take a look at are a septic system. If there's a septic system on the property, you want to get a special inspection for that. There's a special inspector. Most normal home inspectors aren't going to look into the septic system. There is a special certification by a company that specializes in pumping and inspecting septic systems. It's important to get that checked out, because that's, again, another thing that you don't want to have an issue with down the line, because it can be very expensive. And then lastly, and this is pretty rare, but again, if you're in a rural area, if your home is on a well, I highly recommend getting a well inspection. You want to know a couple things. You want to know, number one is make sure there's no issues with the water that's coming up out of the ground. Anything that could be poisonous, obviously, anything that could be damaging to your health. This is the water that you're going to be drinking. You want to make sure that everything is also functioning properly with the well. And one of the main things that you're going to look for is how many gallons per minute is the well producing. Because if you've got a very low gallons per minute on the well, there's a chance that that well water might be starting to dry up, and you do not want to be purchasing a property where the well water is starting to dry up or go away, especially if you're far away from anywhere where you could tap into a public water source. If the well is the only thing going on there in regards to where you get your water, you want to make sure that you're getting a high volume of water per minute. Again, there could be maybe an issue with the pump. Maybe that is a reason why you might have a low gallons per minute. But again, you want to get someone that specializes in that, a well inspector, to figure that stuff out before you purchase the home. So rural areas, you need septic inspection and well inspection. So those are a lot of the things that you want to look for when you're doing your home inspection. But I would say, kind of from an agent's perspective, or really even from a buyer, if you're buying a home that is 50, 20, 30, 10, even 5 years old, there's gonna be things that come up on the home inspection, and it's the home inspector's job to make sure that they're pointing all of these things out. But I would say for an agent as well as a buyer, you don't have to freak out, okay? So there are going to be things, it's the home inspector's job to pick apart every little thing about a home that could possibly be wrong, just so that they cover themselves. But the major things are the things that you really want to focus on. All the little cosmetic things, even little code issues, most of those things can be fixed pretty easily. Even little leaks, toilets leaking, things like that, pretty easy handyman fix type stuff. It's the major stuff that you really want to focus on. All right, so let's talk about it from a real estate agent's perspective, because as a realtor, and a lot of realtors watch my content, what I like to do in a scenario when we're gonna have a home inspection, because when you're a realtor, time is money. You should be spending most of your time focusing on getting new clients. Don't get me wrong, you want to make sure that you're servicing your clients, you're there for your clients, but ultimately you don't wanna waste time either. You don't wanna be hanging around a home inspection for 3 hours for no reason. So what I like to do, so I don't waste my time and I don't waste my client's time, is I like to send the home inspector to the property first and let them get started. And if you know the home inspection is gonna take roughly about an hour and a half, let's say they're gonna meet at the property at 1 p.m. I would say, okay, home inspector, you go to the property at 1 p.m., get started, and then I'll tell my client, hey, meet us there at 2:15. And we're gonna go over everything that the home inspector found, and that way you can know what items we need to be aware of, what's wrong with the property, and so on. But you don't wanna go and sit and look over the home inspector's shoulder the entire time, or go have your clients sit and be looking over the home inspector's shoulder the entire time, or better yet, you don't want them just sitting around for an hour and a half or 2 hours waiting for the home inspector to get done. So my suggestion to agents is tell your client to meet you there towards the end of the inspection. That way they're still able to go over all the important things without wasting a bunch of time. All right, guys, so subscribe to the channel, do your boy a favor, hit the like button. I'm gonna keep bringing you more content if you are a buyer or a potential buyer or seller, or even if you're a real estate agent. I'm gonna be bringing you more content like this. Check out the rest of the videos on my channel, and I will see you next time.